Oh boy, have I got a hardcore episode for you this week. To start off, it's time to finally complete the World Wakes, which is one of the most spooky quests to do in a hardcore. There are several boss fights and a danger staircase at the end. It's super worth it though, because the rewards from this quest are insane. The first boss of the quest is Kriara. It's super easy as long as you avoid the tornadoes. I don't know why I brought a terror bird for this. I never came close to needing it, and there's a part where you have to dismiss your familiar like right after this fight, so I had to drop like 12 sharks on the floor. The second boss fight is with Gardor, who is easy as heck with kiting. Since he doesn't get any hits in when I'm cutting him, I both preserve my HP and prevent him from doing any special attacks, so there's no sneaky reflex from his Gardor Protect thing. And next up was Immorgal, who does like 0 damage from all sources, so food is basically optional for this fight. The most annoying part of the fight is that he has like level 1 million defense, so is splashing like crazy for half the fight. And the next fight is with Krill, who is basically the same as Gardor with the kiting, so there's no problem there, except he would kind of teleport because his animation kept getting stalled, which made it kind of tricky to know exactly where he was in the room for the kiting. Then it was time for the most annoying boss fight in the quest, Anakra, who has insanely high defense and an attack that stuns you, which is pretty spooky, and all the quest guides tell you to stay at low HP for this fight, so it doesn't drain your life points as fast. But honestly, especially for safing up on a hardcore, you can just run around the pillars and that cancels the life drain attack, making the fight faster and a lot less spooky. With Anakra killed and Juna defended, it was time for the staircase from hell. I actually almost died immediately because I thought I could get out ahead of the fireballs, but that was not the case. Luckily I caught myself in time and didn't die to an embarrassing death. After that initial scare, I made it down no problem, which meant that the quest was finished and I could collect the absurd amount of rewards to get from this quest. I got a Slayer level, an Agility level, and a Ranged level from all the XP rewards, which were all skills I need to work on for other quest requirements coming up. I wanted to put the third XP into the construction, but I forgot to get 75 construction before doing the quest, so I couldn't get that like 100k XP in there. Got 75 Slayer doing Big Game Hunter, which is a milestone level, I guess. Doesn't really unlock much other than Kuradel, who honestly might not even be better than Lapalok for me at this point. I wanted to complete Within the Light for the Agility XP, so I chinned 75 Ranged in the Abyss. It's super quick ranged XP there, and 75 ranged is also a requirement for Plague's End, even though it's a completely redundant requirement, since Within the Light is also required for Plague's End. Got 75 attack and strength at Hellhounds, which are requirements for the Lord of Vampirum, and it also means I can use the melee version of Vanquish. I've also got all the levels required for Blood Runs Deep, but that quest isn't really worth doing until I get 75 Prayer, so I can put all that XP reward into Prayer. Got my first Dragon Mattock, which means I can go back to training some archaeology. I basically refused to go back until I got this drop, and I'll probably just use the Dragon Mattock until 81, at which point I can upgrade it into an Imcando Mattock. I got it at 60 kill count, all at the Arcane Apterosaur, since I don't exactly have any Sailfish or Manta Rays to do the other 2 dinosaurs yet. Completed Within the Light, which got me the rest of the way to 77 Agility, which means I can have all the requirements for Ritual of the Madrat, and 77 Agility also unlocks the Heffen Agility course. So all the annoying agility training methods are behind me at this point. And I also got a woodcutting level from it, I guess. Went straight to completing Ritual of the Madrat, which has just the funkiest quest bosses at the end of the quest. The enemies and allies are so obviously outdated since the evolution of combat. You kill your enemies and then basically have to sit there and wait for your allies to kill the other ones, since you can't damage those. I was just sitting there dodging the skull attack for literally minutes, and the same thing happens twice, first with the Ice Titans and then again with the Ice Demons. So after that boss fight, it just continues to be a cakewalk. You just have to awkwardly lure Arav to his heart and make sure to avoid going into combat as the chat pops up, or else you have to just re-lure him. After that, you have to repair a beacon while avoiding a Glacior, and then let the Dragonkin wreck Lucine. And after that, it was just quest complete. This quest has a ton of awesome rewards. I get more accessible Bainite rocks. The Glacior Cave gives a boost for God of War's Dungeon 1 damage, and I get like 240,000 XP into Herblore, which means that the XP rewards from the Lord of Vampirum will get me straight to 80 for River of Blood. Got 75 fletching, which is another requirement for River of Blood. Unlocked the ability to craft Slayer Rings, which are by far the easiest method for me to get enhancing components for making augmenters, and since they added Slayer gem packs, it makes it a lot easier to buy at the shops. Got my first Jungle Strikeworm task, and I got the Hex Crest on literally the second kill on the account, which is just some completely bonkers luck. This means I can get the Slayer damage and accuracy boosts while I do Krill on a Greater Demon's task, and Kriara on Eviance's task. Wanted the Constructor's outfit before grinding out 79 construction for Lord of Vampirum, so it's time to start temple trekking. I'm also getting a ton of bow strings to make bows for disassembling for components to make augmenters, and got the Lumberjack boots, so that's one piece of the Lumberjack outfit down. Got the first Easy Dude to level 99, basically just AFKing while I kill stuff. And then got Pazuzu to level 99, easy peasy. And then got the medium person to 99, which means I've unlocked the Druid pouch that goes on the tool belt. And that's just an amazing quality of life upgrade for going through the swamp. I leveled up some of the other characters to get 400 total, which unlocks the full Constructor's outfit. And that's all the temple trekking I'm doing for now. I'll probably come back soon since it's a requirement for the Mauritania task set to complete it. But I got 75 construction real quick, which is another requirement for Elf City Down. I'm getting all the logs I need for construction from Miscellanea. It's a pretty easy way to get the logs you need for construction on an Ironman. Didn't have the cash for 79 construction yet, so I went back to Slayer. I got 78 Slayer killing Krill on a Greater Demon's task, which is another requirement for Lord of Vampirum. Got 80 defense as well, which unlocks a ton of armor that I'm not going to be getting for a while. Every time I get a War Priest robe top, I'm disassembling it for Zami components, since I'm going to need a ton of those for perks eventually. Got 85 HP, which unlocks Guthix's Blessing, the ability, which is actually a really useful ability to use before getting an enhanced Excalibur just to have some extra healing. Got 27 Invention, which means I can level up items up to level 10 for the full amount of XP in disassembling them, so that's how I'll be training Invention at this point. Got enough Slayer points to unlock the Slayer helmet, which isn't that great until I get the focus sight from Desert Strikeworms, but it's still nice to have unlocked. With Archaeology, there's a new best method for converting logs into planks before Elf City, which is running from the Infernal Source bank chest to the lumber mill. Not sure when they got rid of the Taverley lumber mill guy, but I guess this is the best way to do it for now. Finished 79 construction, which is the last requirement I needed for Lord of Vampirum. Wanted to make sure I could do both the last vampire quests in a row, so I also got 78 attack and strength really quick at Hellhounds, which was my last requirements needed for River of Blood. Other than the 80 Herblore, of course, which I'll be getting after beating Lord of Vampirum. The boss fight at the end of Lord of Vampirum can seem pretty spooky, but the wiki says it's a safe death, and I've never seen any hardcore death broadcasts saying that they got killed by this boss. Out of habit, I still played it safe. I rested my HP back throughout the quest so I could have the 20 pieces of food that you start out with, and I made sure to stay safe, avoiding as much damage as I could. This boss has so many phases. They're all pretty similar though, and they're honestly super easy if the mechanics are properly avoided. The easiest attack to get KO'd by is when he drags you in and pummels you after disabling Protect from Melee, especially if Freedom is on cooldown. And the last phase is just super easy, especially if you have practice with kiting. You just run away and attack, and it's just, he doesn't even hit you. With the beefy vampire down for the Count Dracula, it was the quest complete, which means that I can cash in on the absurd amount of XP rewards. Got the last 2 Herblore levels I needed to 80, which finished the requirements for River of Blood, so it's finally time to knock out the big finale of the vampire quest line. The combat portions of River of Blood are not nearly as hard as the ones in Lord of Vampirum, so even in my pathetic gear I was able to breeze through my way through the quest. Now the boss fight at the end is just a weird fight that you can kite everything on. You just have to go through like 1,000,000 HP from all the bosses. Poured the big Guthix balance potion down the well into the river, which meant that the big River of Blood quest is complete, unlocking the Sun Spear, which is now my best in slot weapon for like all 3 styles. And the Sun Spear also unlocks the prayer training method that I'll be doing like all the way to 95 prayer, which will get a ton of other stuff done along the way. Got 70 prayer real quick, which unlocks the big 3 prayers in the standard prayer book. So it's time to finally do the night waves. The night waves are kind of a joke with kiting. I did run out of run energy, but the nights aren't really a big threat anyway. With the night waves done, I've unlocked the prayers, which will be super nice for bossing and stuff. And with that, I think I'll call this an episode. I did several really big quests this episode that have unlocked so many things on this account. I'll be grinding Vires just whenever my Vampirism aura is up. I want to work towards curses as fast as possible, along with training Invention from leveling up and disassembling the Sun Spear. So anyway, thanks for watching and see you next time.